people in a village in Kent have stepped up their campaign against plans for a new lorry park after the government confirmed it had bought nearby fields for processing freight.
Well, we broke the news last November that the site in Guston, north of Dover, had been earmarked for a border post. Then locals told us they hoped to halt the scheme entirely.
But now many are merely aiming to limit its scale and impact on the environment, as Kit Bradshaw has been finding out.
We need a bigger buffer zone. We need a bigger buffer zone. We need a bigger buffer zone. We need a bigger buffer zone.
A unified message, but is anyone in government listening? The diggers have arrived since I last visited this idyllic spot on the outskirts of Dover 2 months ago.
All we are left with in front of the houses.
Jane Dunford now thinks attempting to stop the planned lorry park is pointless. Instead, she hopes officials will agree to create a 50-metre buffer zone between her front door and the checkpoint.
We live right next to the park, and what we're hoping is that they consider that when they're looking in to the mitigation and the decent buffer zone in front of us.
It was on New Year's Eve that ministers wrote to residents confirming they were pressing ahead with the project. They're using a special development order to bypass the usual planning process.
It's just crazy. They've had 3 years now to even construct this and consult us. But they've come in with bulldozers and said, we're doing this, we're doing it then. You know, a 1 month's warning. The diggers are coming in on the 3rd of January. It's just madness, absolute madness.
The government's already confirmed to these residents that they've bought the fields at the end of their gardens for a new inland border facility. Once it's finished, it'll have capacity for up to 1,200 lorries. And from up here, you really get a sense of just how big it will be. By the time the first lorries roll onto this site in July, the grass will have gone. But the Conservative MP for Dover believes the scheme will be good for the local economy.
We have the opportunity, now we've left the EU, to ensure that we get more of our fair share of jobs and money. And the proposals to invest in Dover at a new border control point are an exciting and important strategic opportunity for our community.
But some aren't convinced and hope ministers will have a change of heart.
We think that this location should really be challenged. We think it's poorly planned and it's potentially dangerous if it proves that the flyover built over 40 years ago isn't up to carrying all the extra freight traffic.
The Department for Transport says the site was chosen because of its easy access to the port and that officials are working to ensure surrounding roads aren't negatively affected. But many of those who'll have to live next to it feel angry and betrayed, not just at the plans, but what they describe as the secretive and rushed way they've been enacted. Kit Bradshaw, ITV News, Guston.